Carlos Ray Chuck Norris, born March 10, 1940, is an American martial artist and actor. He is a black belt in karate, taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and judo. After serving in the United States Air Force, Norris won many martial arts championships and later founded his own discipline, Chun Kuk Do. Shortly after, in Hollywood, Norris trained celebrities in martial arts. Norris went on to appear in a minor role in The Wrecking Crew, 1968. Friend and fellow martial artist Bruce Lee invited him to play one of the main villains in The Way of the Dragon, 1972. While Norris continued acting, friend and student Steve McQueen suggested he take it seriously. Norris took the starring role in the action film Breaker Breaker, 1977, which turned a profit. His second lead, Good Guys Wear Black, 1978, became a hit, and he soon became a popular action film star. Norris went on to star in a streak of bankable, independently made action and martial arts films, with A Force of One, 1979, The Octagon, 1980, and An Eye for an Eye, 1981. This made Norris an international celebrity. He went on to make studio films like Silent Rage, 1982, with Columbia, Forced Vengeance, 1982, with MGM, and Lone Wolf McQuade, 1983, with Orion. This led Cannon Films to sign Norris into a multiple film deal, starting with Missing in Action, 1984, which proved to be very successful and launched a trilogy. Norris started to work almost exclusively on high-profile action films with Cannon, becoming its leading star during the 1980s. Films with Cannon include Invasion USA, 1985, The Delta Force, 1986, and Firewalker, 1986, among others. Apart from the Cannon films, Norris made Code of Silence, 1985, which was received as one of his best films. In the 1990s, he played the title role in the long-running CBS television series Walker, Texas Ranger, from 1993 to 2001. Until 2006, Norris continued taking lead roles in action movies. His last appearance in a major film release was in The Expendables 2, 2012. Throughout his film and TV career, Norris diversified from his regular endeavors. As a writer, he is a New York Times best-selling author of books on martial arts, exercise, philosophy, his conservative politics, Christian Western fiction, self-help and biographies, and he also serves as a columnist for WorldNet Daily. Norris also appeared in several commercials endorsing several products, most notably being one of the main spokespersons for the Total Gym infomercials. In 2005, Norris found new fame on the internet when Chuck Norris facts became an internet meme documenting humorous, fictional, and often absurd feats of strength and endurance. Although Norris himself did not produce the facts, he was hired to endorse many products that incorporated Chuck Norris facts in advertising. The phenomenon resulted in 6 books, some of them New York Times bestsellers, as well as 2 video games and several appearances on talk shows, such as Late Night with Conan O'Brien, in which he read the facts or participated in sketches. Early life, Norris was born in Ryan, Oklahoma on March 10, 1940, to Wilma Lee, née Scarberry, 1921-2024, and Ray D. Norris, 1971, who was a World War II Army soldier, mechanic, bus driver, and a truck driver. His mother was of Irish descent and his father of German, British, and distant Cherokee descent. Norris was named after Carlos Berry, his father's minister. He was the oldest of 3 brothers, the younger 2 being Wieland, 1943-1970, and Aaron. Wieland Norris informed his eldest sibling he would not reach his 27th birthday. This prediction came true in 1970 when he was killed in the Vietnam War. When Norris was 16 years old, his parents divorced, and he later relocated to Prairie Village, Kansas, and then to Torrance, California, with his mother and brothers. Norris has described his childhood as downbeat. He was non-athletic, shy, and scholastically mediocre. His father, Ray, worked intermittently as an automobile mechanic and went on drinking binges that lasted for months at a time. Embarrassed by his father's behavior and the family's financial plight, Norris developed a debilitating introversion that lasted for his entire childhood. Career United States Air Force and martial arts breakthrough, 1958 to 1969. Norris joined the United States Air Force as an air policeman, AP, in 1958 and was sent to Osan Air Base, South Korea. It was there that Norris acquired the nickname Chuck and began his training in Tang Soo Do. When he returned to the United States, he continued to serve as an AP at March Air Force Base in California. He was discharged from the Air Force in August 1962 with the rank of Airman First Class. Following his military service, Norris applied to be a police officer in Torrance, California, opening up a martial arts studio while on the waiting list. He also began participating in martial arts competitions. Norris was defeated in his first 2 tournaments, dropping decisions to Joe Louis and Alan Steen, and lost 3 rounds at the International Karate Championships to Tony Tulliners. However, he improved enough that he ended up scoring victories over the likes of Vic Moore, eventually winning the 1967 Tournament of Karate, as he defeated 7 opponents until finally triumphing over his ultimate fight with Skipper Mullins. On June 24th of that year, Norris was declared champion at the Henry Cho's All-American Karate Championship at the Madison Square Garden, taking the title from Julio LaSalle and defeating Joe Louis. During this time, Norris worked for the Northrop Corporation and opened a chain of karate schools. His official website lists Steve and Chad McQueen, Bob Barker, Priscilla Presley, and Donnie and Marie Osmond as celebrity clients. Norris suffered the 10th and final loss of his career in early 1968, losing an upset decision to Luis Delgado. On November 24th, he avenged his defeat to Delgado and by doing so won the professional middleweight karate champion title, which he then held for 6 consecutive years. On April 1st, Norris successfully defended his All-American Karate Championship title in a round-robin tournament at the Karate Tournament of Champions of North America. Again that year, Norris won for the 2nd time the All-American Karate Championship. It was the last time Norris participated and retired undefeated. While competing, Norris met Bruce Lee, who at the time was known for the TV series The Green Hornet. They developed a friendship, as well as a training and working relationship. In 1969, during the first weekend of August, Norris defended his title as world champion at the International Karate Championship. The competition included champions from most of the 50 states, as well as half a dozen from abroad who joined for the preliminaries. Norris retained his title and won karate's Triple Crown for the most tournament wins of the year. He also got the Fighter of the Year award by Black Belt magazine. Around this time, Norris made his acting debut in the Matt Helms spy spoof, The Wrecking Crew. Early roles and breakthrough: 1970 to 1978. Norris in 1976. In 1972, Norris acted as Bruce Lee's nemesis in the widely acclaimed martial arts movie Way of the Dragon, titled Return of the Dragon in its U.S. distribution. The film grossed over $5.3 million at the Hong Kong box office, beating previous records set by Lee's own films, The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, making it the highest-grossing film of 1972 in Hong Kong. The Way of the Dragon went on to gross an estimated $130 million worldwide. The film is credited with launching him towards stardom. In 1973, Norris played a role in Jonathan Kaplan's The Student Teachers. In 1974, actor Steve McQueen, who was his martial arts student and friend at the time, saw his potential and encouraged him to begin acting classes at MGM. That same year, he played the supporting role of the main antagonist in Lo Wei's Yellow-Faced Tiger. Norris plays a powerful drug king in San Francisco, where he dominates the criminal world, including the police department. He's eventually challenged by a young police officer who stands up to corruption. The film played theatrically in the United States in 1981 as Slaughter in San Francisco. It was noticed that it was an older, low-budget film announcing Norris as the lead. The film played as a double bill to other action and genre film. It was described as a low-budget martial arts actioner taking advantage of Norris's fame. In 1975, Norris wrote his first book, Winning Tournament Karate, on the practical study of competition training for any rank. It covers all phases of executing speedy attacks, conditioning, fighting form drills, and one-step sparring techniques. Norris's first starring role was 1977's Breaker Breaker. He chose it after turning down offers to do several martial arts films. Norris decided that he wanted to do films that had a story and where the action would take place when it is emotionally right. The low-budget film turned out to be very successful. In 1978, Norris starred in Good Guys Wear Black. He considers it to be his first significant lead role. No studio wanted to release it, so Norris and his producers four-walled it, renting the theaters and taking whatever money came in. The film did very well. Shot on a $1 million budget, it made over $18 million at the box office. Following years of kung fu film imports from Hong Kong action cinema during the 1970s, Most notably Bruce Lee films, followed by Bruceploitation flicks, Good Guys Wear Black launched Norris as the first successful homegrown American martial arts star, having previously been best known as a villain in Lee's Way of the Dragon. Good Guys Wear Black distinguished itself from earlier martial arts films by its distinctly American setting, characters, themes, and politics, a formula that Norris continued to develop with his later films. Action film star, 1979 to 1983. In 1979, Norris starred in A Force of One, where he played Matt Logan, a world karate champion who assists the police in their investigation. The film was developed while touring for Good Guys Wear Black. Again, no studio wanted to pick it up, but it outgrossed the previous film by making $20 million at the box office. In 1980, he released The Octagon, where his character must stop a group of terrorists trained in the ninja style. Unlike his previous films, this time the studios were interested. American Cinema Releasing distributed it, and it made almost $19 million at the box office. In 1981, he starred in Steve Carver's An Eye for an Eye. In 1982, he had the lead in the action horror film Silent Rage. It was his first film released by a major studio, Columbia Pictures. Norris plays a sheriff who must stop a psychopath on a rampage. Shortly afterward, MGM gave him a 3-movie deal, and that same year, they released Forced Vengeance, 1982. Norris was unhappy with the direction they wanted to take with him, hence the contract was canceled. In 1983, Norris made Lone Wolf McQuade with Orion Pictures and Carver directing. He plays a reckless but brave Texas Ranger who defeats an arms dealer played by David Carradine. The film was a worldwide hit and had a positive reception from movie critics, often being compared to Sergio Leone's stylish spaghetti westerns. The film became the inspiration for Norris's future hit TV show, Walker, Texas Ranger. Film critic Roger Ebert gave the film a 3.5-star rating, calling the character of JJ McQuade worthy of a film series and predicting the character would be a future classic, and it would be the first movie where Norris would wear his trademark beard. The same year, he also published an exercise called Toughen Up, the Chuck Norris Fitness System. Also in 1983, Zonox produced the video game Chuck Norris Super Kicks for the Commodore 64, VC-20, Atari 2600, and ColecoVision. The game combines 2 types of gameplay, moving through a map and fighting against enemies. The player takes control of Norris, who has to liberate a hostage. It was later sold as Kung Fu Super Kicks when the license for the use of the Chuck Norris name expired. Mainstream success, 1984 to 1988. In 1984, Norris starred in Joseph Zito's Missing in Action. It's the first of a series of POW rescue fantasies where he plays Colonel James Braddock. Produced by Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus, and released under their Canon Films banner, with which he had signed a multiple movie deal. Norris later dedicated these films to his younger brother Wieland, who was a private in the 101st Airborne Division, and had been killed in June 1970 in Vietnam while on patrol in the defense of Firebase Ripcord. The film was a huge success, and Norris became Canon's most prominent star of the 1980s. That same year, on October 2nd, principal photography of Andrew Davis's Code of Silence started. The film marked a departure for Norris, due to its complexity and dramatic depth. The film is about a cop who is ostracized for refusing to support a corrupt cop who killed an innocent bystander while protecting the daughter of a mob boss. Davis described Norris as easy to work with and very supportive, exhausting. Released by Orion Pictures on May 3, 1985, and received generally positive reviews, with critics praising its slick direction, strong performances, and engaging action. It was regarded as a standout in Norris's career, with many considering it his best film to date. Vincent Canby of the New York Times, who liked the film, said of Norris' performance that it could well prove to be his breakout picture. He explains that it marks a potential turning point for Norris, who projects a quiet competence that shines in the film's meticulously crafted fight sequences, and that his restrained performance feels fresh and distinct, a departure from his earlier roles. Of critical success, Norris said, "I really appreciate the acclaim. I've worked hard these last 9 years to get critics to look at me in a different light. They're usually more concerned with things like Passage to India, and they've hit me hard all these years, especially in the beginning. I'm really excited, to say the least." The film debuted at number 1 with an opening weekend gross of $5.5 million and ultimately earned a total of $20.3 million at the U.S. box office. Missing in Action 2, The Beginning premiered on March 1, 1985. It is a prequel to the first installment about Braddock being held in a North Vietnamese POW camp. Invasion USA premiered on September 27th with Zito directing. Norris on the set of the film The Delta Force, 1986. On February 14th, 1986, Menahem Golan's The Delta Force premiered. Norris co-stars with Lee Marvin. They play leaders of an elite squad of Special Forces troops who face a group of terrorists. The Delta Force was a box office success. In October, Ruby Spears' cartoon Karate Commandos first aired. The animated show lasted 6 episodes. In it, Norris voices a cartoon version of himself who leads a United States government team of operatives known as the Karate Commandos. Marvel made a comic book adaptation. On November 21st, J. Lee Thompson's action-adventure comedy film Firewalker premiered, where Norris co-lead with Louis Gossett Jr. Gossett and Norris play 2 seasoned treasure hunters whose adventures rarely result in any notable success. Norris explained that the project came about when he wanted to show a lighter side of himself. Gossett appreciated Norris' efforts and said, "I have great respect for what actors call stretch. Chuck had to open up first to allow this atmosphere. It has to do with his desire to stretch. Someone else could have been quite insecure. He chose to open up. He's studying hard and he's serious." The reviews were mostly negative, while some thought it was a fine for a light action film. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times enjoyed it of the cast. He said they really get into the lighthearted spirit of the occasion. The film made $11,834,302 at the box office. In 1987, he published the New York Times bestseller The Secret of Inner Strength, My Story. It is about his self-improvement philosophy. On January 2nd, 1988, Braddock. Missing in Action 3 premiered. Norris returned to the title role and his brother Aaron Norris directed. On August 28th, Norris starred in Hero in the Terror, directed by William Tannen. In it, Norris stars as a cop investigating a serial killer. Subsequent success, 1989 to 1999. By 1990, his films had collectively grossed over $500 million worldwide. By this time, he had drawn comparisons to both Bruce Lee and Clint Eastwood, sometimes called the Blonde Bruce Lee, for his martial arts film roles, while his loner persona was compared to the Eastwood character Dirty Harry. That same year, MGM acquired the Cannon Films library. Norris continued making films with Aaron, who directed him in Delta Force 2, The Hitman, Sidekicks, 1993, Hellbound, 1994, Top Dog, 1995, and Forest Warrior, 1996. In 1993, he began shooting the action series Walker, Texas Ranger. The television show is centered on Sergeant Cordell Walker, Norris, a member of the Texas Rangers, a state-level bureau of investigation, and is about his adventures fighting criminals with his partner James Trevette. It lasted 8 seasons on CBS and continued in syndication on other channels, notably the Hallmark Channel. The show was very successful in the ratings throughout its run, ranking among the top 30 programs from 1995 until 1999, and ranking in the top 20 in both the 1995 to 1996 and 1998-1999 seasons. In 1999, Norris produced and played Walker in a supporting role in the Walker, Texas Ranger spin-off Sons of Thunder. The same year, also playing the role of Walker, Norris acted in a crossover episode of the Sammo Hung's TV show Martial Law. For another crossover, Hung also appeared as his character in Walker, Texas Ranger. Separately from Walker, Texas Ranger, on August 25, 1993, the Randy Travis television special, Wind in the Wire, first aired. Norris was among the guests. At the 1994 edition of the World Wrestling Federation, WWE Survivor Series event, Norris was the special outside enforcer for the casket match between The Undertaker and Yokozuna. During the match, Norris delivered a roundhouse kick to an interfering Jeff Jarrett. In 1996, Norris wrote the book The Secret Power Within, Zen Solutions to Real Problems. Since 1997, Norris has appeared with Christy Brinkley in a long-running series of cable TV infomercials promoting Total Gym home fitness equipment. On November 1st, 1998, CBS premiered Michael Priest's television film Logan's War, Bound by Honor, starring Norris and Eddie Cibrian. The television film was ranked 3rd among the 13 most viewed shows of that week. Subsequent films and internet fame, 2000 to 2005. Norris. During a meeting with USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN 71, Commanding Officer Captain J.R. Haley in June 2005. In the early 2000s, Norris starred as a secret agent in the CBS television films The President's Man, 2000, and The President's Man, A Line in the Sand, 2002. In 2003, Norris played a role in the supernatural Christian film Bells of Innocence. That same year, he acted in one episode of the TV show Yes, Dear. In 2004, Rawson Marshall Thurber's comedy film Dodgeball, a true underdog story, was released. Norris plays himself as a judge during a dodgeball game. Described by critics as a raunchy comedy that delivers for many, it grossed $167.7 million. That same year, he published his autobiography Against All Odds, My Story. In 2005, Norris founded the World Combat League, WCL, a full-contact, team-based martial arts competition, of which part of the proceeds are given to his Kickstart Kids program. On October 17, 2005, CBS premiered the Sunday night movie of the week Walker, Texas Ranger, Trial by Fire. The production was a continuation of the series and not scripted to be a reunion movie. Norris reprised his role as Walker for the movie. He has stated that future Walker, Texas Ranger movie of the week projects are expected. However, this was severely impaired by CBS's 2006-2007 season decision to no longer regularly schedule movies of the week on Sunday night. Norris during a promotion ceremony at Camp Taqadum in the Al-Anbar province of Iraq on November 2, 2006. Chuck Norris facts originally started appearing on the internet in early 2005. Created by Ian Spector, they are satirical factoids about Norris. Since then, they have become widespread in popular culture. The facts are normally absurd hyperbolic claims about Norris's toughness, attitude, virility, sophistication, and masculinity. Norris has written his own response to the parody on his website, stating that he does not feel offended by them and finds some of them funny, claiming that his personal favorite is that they wanted to add his face to Mount Rushmore, but the granite is not hard enough for his beard. At first, it was mostly college students exchanging them, but they later became extremely widespread. From that point on, Norris started to tour with the Chuck Norris facts, appearing on major talk shows and even visiting troops in Iraq for morale-boosting appearances. Current works, 2006-present. Norris published the novel The Justice Writers in 2006, which he had co-written with Ken Abraham, Aaron Norris, and Tim Graham. Likewise, he published its sequel, A Threat to Justice, a couple years later alongside the same team. Gotham Books, the adult division of Penguin USA, released a book penned by Ian Spector entitled The Truth About Chuck Norris, 400 Facts About the World's Greatest Human. Norris subsequently filed suit in December against Penguin USA, claiming trademark infringement, unjust enrichment, and privacy rights, but ended up dropping the lawsuit in 2008. The book is a New York Times bestseller. Since then, Spector has published 4 more books based on Chuck Norris facts, one of which also becoming a New York Times bestseller. Tyndale House Publishers similarly published a book praising Norris, entitled The Official Chuck Norris Fact Book, 101 of Chuck's Favorite Facts and Stories, which was co-written and officially endorsed by him. In 2008, he published the political nonfiction book Black Belt Patriotism, How to Reawaken America, which reached number 14 on the New York Times bestseller list in September 2008. That same year, Gameloft produced the video game Chuck Norris, Bring on the Pain for mobile devices, based on the popularity Norris had developed on the internet with the Chuck Norris facts. The player takes control of Norris in a side-scrolling beat-em-up. The game was well-reviewed. Since 2010, Norris has been a nationally syndicated columnist with Creators Syndicate, writing on both personal health issues and broader issues of healthcare in America. Throughout the 2010s, Norris appeared in advertisements for T-Mobile, World of Warcraft, BZWBK, the French TV show Pied dans le Plat, Hogarden, United Healthcare, Hesburger, Cerveza Poker, Toyota, and in the 2020s, Quick Trip. In 2012, Norris played a mercenary in The Expendables 2. The film was a success and grossed over $310 million worldwide. That same year, Norris and his wife Gina founded Sea-Force Bottling Co. after an aquifer was discovered on his ranch. In 2017, Norris became Fiat's ambassador, a tough face for its commercial vehicles. Flare Games produced Nonstop Chuck Norris, an isometric action RPG game for mobile devices, and is the second game to be based on his popularity, developed by the Chuck Norris Facts. The game was well reviewed. In 2019, Norris hosted the documentary Chuck Norris's Epic Guide to Military Vehicles on the History Channel. In it, Norris explores vehicular creations by the U.S. military. In 2020, Norris acted in the series finale of Hawaii 5-0. In 2021, Norris was featured as a character in the video game World of Tanks during a holiday event. Martial arts knowledge, Chuck Norris. Style, Chuck Norris System founder. American Tang Soo Do, Tang Soo Do, Mu Duk Kwan. Taekwondo, Karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo teachers. Shinjay Chul Machado. Brothers, rank 10th degree black belt. Chuck Norris, System Chun Kuk Do, 10th degree black belt. American Tang Soo Do, 8th degree black belt. Taekwondo, 8th degree black belt. Kyokushin Budokai, 5th degree black belt in Karate. 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Black belt in Judo. Norris has founded two major martial arts systems, American Tang Soo Do and Chuck Norris System, formerly known as Chun Kuk Do. American Tang Soo Do, further information. American Tang Soo Do. American Tang Soo Do was formed in 1966 by Norris, which is a combination of Mu Duk Kwan style, Tang Soo Do, Judo and Karate, Shito Ryu and Shotokan. Over the years, it has been further developed by former black belts of his and their students. Chuck Norris System. Norris's present martial arts system is the Chuck Norris System, formerly known as Chun Kuk Do. The style was formally founded in 1990 as Chun Kuk Do by Norris and was originally based on Norris's Tang Soo Do training in Korea while he was in the military. During his competitive fighting career, Norris began to evolve the style to make it more effective and well-rounded by studying other systems such as Shotokan, Goju-ryu, Shito-ryu, Enshin Kaikan, Kyokushin, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Arnis, Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, Hapkido, and American Kenpo. Chun Kuk Do now emphasizes self-defense, competition, weapons, grappling, and fitness, among other things. Each summer, the United Fighting Arts Federation, UFAF, holds a training conference and the Chun Kuk Do World Championship Tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada. The art includes a code of honor and rules to live by. These rules are from Norris's personal code. They are, I will develop myself to the maximum of my potential in all ways. I will forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements. I will continually work at developing love, happiness, and loyalty in my family. I will look for the good in all people and make them feel worthwhile. If I have nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing. I will always be as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own. I will maintain an attitude of open-mindedness. I will maintain respect for those in authority and demonstrate this respect at all times. I will always remain loyal to my God, my country, family, and my friends. I will remain highly goal-oriented throughout my life because that positive attitude helps my family, my country, and myself. Like most traditional martial arts, Chuck Norris System includes the practice of forms, Korean Hyung and Japanese kata. The majority of the system's forms are adapted from Korean Tang Soo Do and Taekwondo, Japanese Shito-ryu, Shotokan karate, Goju-ryu, Kyokushinkai karate, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, American Kenpo. It includes 2 organization-specific introductory forms, 2 organization-specific empty hand forms, and 1 organization-specific weapon form, UFAF nunchuck form, UFAF bow form, UFAF sai forms. The United Fighting Arts Federation has graduated over 3,000 black belts in its history and currently has nearly 4,000 active members worldwide. There are about 90 member schools in the U.S., Mexico, Norway, and Paraguay. Distinctions, awards, and honors. Norris's Hollywood star, Norris, receiving the Veteran of the Year Award by the U.S. Air Force in 2001. Commandant General James T. Conway, making Norris an honorary United States Marine in 2007. While in the military, Norris's rank units were Airman First Class, 15th Air Force, 22nd Bombardment Group, and 452 DIN Troop Carrier Wing. Norris has received many black belts. These include a 10th degree black belt in Chun Kuk Do, founded 1990 by Chuck Norris, based on his Tang Soo Do training in Korea while he was in military. A 9th-degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, an 8th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, a 5th-degree black belt in karate, a 3rd-degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu from the Machado family, and a black belt in judo. In 1967, he won the Sparring Grand Champions at the S. Henry Cho's All-American Championship and won it again the following year. In 1968, he won the Professional Middleweight Karate Champion title, which he held for 6 consecutive years. In 1969, he won karate's Triple Crown for the most tournament wins of the year. In 1969, he won the Fighter of the Year award by Black Belt magazine. In 1982, he won Action Star of the Year at the Show West Convention. In 1989, he received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1992, he won International Box Office Star of the Year at the Show West Convention. In 1997, he won the special award of being a Texas legend at the Lone Star Film and Television Awards. From 1997 to 1998, he won for 3 consecutive years the BMI TV Music Award at the BMI Awards. In 1999, Norris was inducted into the Martial Arts History Museum's Hall of Fame as one of its 10 inaugural members. In 1999, he was nominated for Favorite Actor in a Drama by the TV Guide Award. In 1999, he won the Inspirational Acting and Television Award at the Grace Prize Award. On July 1, 2000, Norris was presented the Golden Lifetime Achievement Award by the World Karate Union Hall of Fame. In 2001, he received the Veteran of the Year at the American Veteran Awards. In 2001, he won the Golden Boot at the Golden Boot Awards. On March 28, 2007, Commandant General James T. Conway made Norris an honorary United States Marine during a dinner at the Commandant's residence in Washington, D.C. On December 2, 2010, he, along with brother Aaron, was given the title Honorary Texas Ranger by Texas Governor Rick Perry. In 2010, he won the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Action Fest. In 2017, he was honored as an honorary Texan because for many years he has lived at his Texas ranch near Navasota, and he starred as Texas Ranger in his movie Lone Wolf McQuade, and starred as Ranger Cordell Walker in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. In 2020, 2 editions of a book honoring Norris were published titled Martial Arts Masters and Pioneers Biography, Chuck Norris, Giving Back for a Lifetime, by Jesse Bowen of the American Martial Arts Alliance. In 2024, a small statue was erected by Mihaly Kolodko at the eastern end of Megéry Bridge in Budapest. Personal life, family. Norris married Diane K. Holacek, 1941-2025, in December 1958 in Torrance, California. He was 18 and Diane was 17. The two had been classmates at North High School in Torrance. He and Holacek separated in 1988 after 30 years of marriage and finalized their divorce in 1980. 989. They had 2 children together, Mike, born 1962, and Eric, born 1965. Norris married Gina O'Kelly, a model 23 years his junior, on November 28, 1998. The two met in 1997, while Norris was on a date with another woman. They have 2 children together, fraternal twins Dakota and Danilee, born 2001. Norris has a daughter, Dina, born 1962, from an extramarital relationship. While stationed in California during his time in the United States Air Force, Norris began seeing a woman named Johanna and didn't tell her he was married to Holacek. The two met for the first time in 1990 and publicly acknowledged her in 2004. In his memoir, Against All Odds, My Story. Norris has 13 grandchildren as of 2017. Christianity. An outspoken Christian, Norris is the author of several Christian-themed books. On April 22, 2008, Norris expressed his support for the intelligent design movement when he reviewed Ben Stein's Expelled for Townhall.com. He is Baptist and a member of the Prestonwood Baptist Church, Southern Baptist Convention in Dallas. Political views. Norris with George W. Bush and Jeb Bush on November 6, 1997. Norris with former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee in Londonderry, New Hampshire on January 5, 2008. Norris is a Republican and outspoken conservative. Norris is a columnist for the far-right WorldNet Daily. In an interview following the release of the 1984 film Missing in Action, Norris stated that, "I am a conservative, a real flag waver, A big Ronald Reagan fan. I'm not so much a Republican or Democrat. I go more for the man himself. Ronald Reagan says what he thinks. He's not afraid to speak his mind, even if he may be unpopular. I want a strong leader, and he is a strong leader. And ever since he has been in office, there has been a more positive, patriotic feeling in this country. Around the time of the filming of the 1986 film The Delta Force, Norris said in response to the hijacking of TWA Flight 847 that United States is becoming a paper tiger in the Middle East. What we're facing here is the fact that our passive approach to terrorism is going to instigate much more terrorism throughout the world. I've been all over the world and seeing the devastation that terrorism has done in Europe and the Middle East. I know eventually it's going to come here, added Norris. It's just a matter of time. They're doing all this devastation in Europe now, and the next stepping stone is America and Canada. Being a free country, with the freedom of movement that we have, it's an open-door policy for terrorism. It's like Gaddafi said a few weeks ago. If Reagan doesn't back off, I'm going to release my killer squads in America, and there's no doubt in my mind that he has them. In 2007, Norris took a trip to Iraq to visit U.S. troops. Norris supported Mike Huckabee's failed candidacy in the 2008 Republican Party presidential primaries, where he made headlines for calling the eventual Republican nominee John McCain too old to handle the pressures of being president. He voiced his support for McCain in the 2008 presidential election, emphasizing his enthusiasm for McCain's partner on the Republican ticket, Sarah Palin. On November 18, 2008, Norris became one of the first members of show business to express support for the California Proposition 8 ban on same-sex marriage, and he criticized activists for not accepting the democratic process and the apparent double standard he perceived in criticizing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints without criticizing African Americans, most of whom had voted for the measure. In 2009, Norris had expressed support for the Barack Obama birther conspiracy. In his letter, released at WorldNet Daily, Norris deemed then-President Obama's refusal to disclose his birth certificate suspicious and implored him to put an end to the conspiracy theories. On April 11, 2011, Norris had written a 5-part investigation regarding the infiltration of Sharia law into United States culture for WorldNet Daily. On June 26, 2012, Norris published an article on Amalan.com in which he accused the Obama administration of paying Jim Turley, one of the national board members of the Boy Scouts of America at the time, to reverse the organization's policy that excluded gay youths from joining. During the 2012 presidential election, Norris first recommended Ron Paul, and then later formally endorsed Newt Gingrich as the Republican presidential candidate. After Gingrich suspended his campaign in May 2012, Norris endorsed Republican presumptive nominee Mitt Romney, despite Norris having previously accused Romney of flip-flopping and of trying to buy the nomination for the Republican Party candidacy for 2012. On the eve of the election, he and his wife Gina made a video warning that if evangelicals did not show up at the polls and vote out President Obama, our country as we know it may be lost forever. Norris has visited Israel, and he voiced support for former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the 2013 and 2015 elections. Norris endorsed Huckabee again in the 2016 Republican primaries before he dropped out. In March 2016, it was reported that Norris endorsed Republican Texas Senator Ted Cruz and that he would be attending a Cruz rally, but 2 days later, Norris stated he would only endorse the GOP nominee once that nominee has been nominated by the party. Later, Norris endorsed former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore in the 2017 United States Senate special election in Alabama. In 2019, Norris signed an endorsement deal with gun manufacturer Glock. The deal was met with criticism from some members of the public and some of his fans, who felt it was in bad timing due to the increase in school shootings in the United States. In 2021, Norris announced his support of the 2021 gubernatorial election to recall incumbent Governor Gavin Newsom and endorsed radio talk show host Larry Elder to replace him. Philanthropy. In 1990, Norris established the United Fighting Arts Federation and Kickstart Kids. As a significant part of his philanthropic contributions, the organization was formed to develop self-esteem and focus in at-risk children as a tactic to keep them away from drug-related pressure by training them in martial arts. Norris hopes that by shifting middle school and high school children's focus towards this positive and strengthening endeavor, these children will have the opportunity to build a better future for themselves. Norris has a ranch in Navasota, Texas, where they bottle water, a portion of the sales support environmental funds and Kickstart Kids. He is known for his contributions towards organizations such as Funds for Kids, Veterans Administration, National Salute to Hospitalized Veterans, the United Way, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation in the form of donations as well as fundraising activities. His time with the U.S. Veterans Administration as a spokesperson was inspired by his experience serving the United States Air Force in Korea. His objective has been to popularize the issues that concern hospitalized war veterans such as pensions and healthcare. Due to his significant contributions and continued support, he received the Veteran of the Year award in 2001 at the American Veteran Awards. In India, Norris supports the Vijay Amritaj Foundation, which aims to help victims of disease, tragedy, and circumstance. Through his donations, he has helped the foundation support pediatric HIV/AIDS homes in Delhi, a blind school in Karnataka, and a mission that cares for HIV/AIDS infected adults, as well as mentally ill patients in Cochin.